Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? Working hard, staying disciplined, pushing through when it's difficult. And yet, your financial situation barely changes. You put in the hours. You stay consistent. You carry responsibilities most people wouldn't handle. And still, at the end of the month, it feels like you're just maintaining, not moving forward. That's a frustrating place to be, because hard work is supposed to pay off. That's what we've been told our entire lives. Work harder, earn more, build wealth. Simple. But if that were completely true, then the hardest working people would be the wealthiest. And that's clearly not the case. There are people working 10, 12, sometimes 14 hours a day, doing physically and mentally exhausting work, and they're still struggling financially. At the same time, there are people who don't appear to be working nearly as hard, yet their income keeps growing. Their wealth keeps expanding. So what's going on? Is hard work useless? No, but it's incomplete, because hard work alone doesn't determine your financial outcome. It determines how much effort you're putting in, not how effectively that effort is being converted into results. And that's where most people get stuck. They focus on increasing effort without questioning the system that effort is going into. Think about it like this. If you're pouring water into a bucket, but the bucket has small holes in it, you can keep pouring faster and faster, but it will never fill. That's what happens when your effort isn't aligned with the right structure. You can work harder, but the results won't accumulate the way they should. So the real question isn't, am I working hard enough? It's, is my effort actually building something that compounds? Because wealth isn't built through isolated effort. It's built through leveraged, repeated, and sustained outcomes. And that requires something different. It requires clarity. Clarity about where your time goes. Clarity about how your work creates value. Clarity about whether your effort today makes tomorrow easier or just repeats the same cycle. Most people are stuck in what you could call an effort loop. You work, you get paid, you spend, you reset. And then you do it again. There's nothing inherently wrong with this. But it doesn't build wealth. It maintains survival. To build wealth, something has to break that loop. And that something is usually leverage. Leverage doesn't necessarily mean money or business right away. It means creating outcomes that continue working beyond the moment you create them. For example, skills that increase your value over time, systems that generate results without constant input, decisions that compound instead of reset. Without leverage, hard work stays linear. You put in more, you get slightly more. With leverage, your effort starts multiplying. You put in effort once, why it continues producing results. But here's the part most people don't realize. Even when opportunities for leverage exist, many people don't fully use them. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't care, but because of how they're conditioned to operate. If you've spent years equating effort with worth, then slowing down to think, restructure, or redirect can feel uncomfortable. It can even feel wrong. So instead, you default back to what feels familiar. More effort, more hours, more pushing, even when it's not producing better results. This creates a hidden trap. You become very good at working hard, but not necessarily at building wealth. And over time, this pattern reinforces itself. Because when things don't improve, the instinct is to work even harder, which keeps you in the same cycle. So breaking out of this isn't about abandoning hard work. It's about redefining how that work is applied. It's about shifting from, how much can I do, to, what actually moves me forward? And that requires awareness. Awareness of where your effort is going. Awareness of what's producing results, and what's just consuming energy. Because once you start seeing that clearly, your behavior begins to change. You stop chasing constant activity. You start focusing on meaningful progress. And that's when things begin to shift. not overnight, but steadily. You begin to notice that some actions create disproportionate results. Some decisions open new paths. Some changes reduce the need for constant effort. And over time, those shifts compound. This is when hard work starts to actually pay off. Not because you're doing more, but because what you're doing is aligned with growth. So if you've been working hard and still not seeing the financial progress you expected, it doesn't mean you're failing. It means something in the structure needs to change. Because effort without direction leads to exhaustion. But effort with alignment leads to expansion. And that difference changes everything. If this perspective helped you see your situation more clearly, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Because in the next videos, we're going to break down how to identify the patterns that keep you stuck in this effort loop, and what actually shifts you into a position where your work starts building real wealth. And if you want to go deeper into this right now, there's something in the description and in the pinned comment that connects directly to what we discussed today. It expands on how your internal patterns influence the way you apply effort, and why that might be the missing piece. If you're ready to stop working hard without moving forward, that's your next step. I'll see you in the next video.